Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope your day and your week are going well so far. We've got a new day, which of course means a new MLB Player Prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes a new opportunity to go ahead and make some money. I've got 4 picks to go ahead and share with you guys in today's MLB slate. Guys, let's not waste any time today. Let's jump right into the picks. Jumping right into the Outlier screen, guys. Shout out to Outlier, the best sports betting tool on the market. There is a special link down below in the description that gives you guys a 7-day free trial to go ahead and check it out for yourself. Outlier truly is the best sports betting tool, guys. If you want to make money in the sports betting landscape, you got to have the proper tool by your side. If you watched my videos before, you know what Outlier can do for you. If you are new here, stick around, watch the video, and see what Outlier provides. It consolidates all the information, all the data that you need to make smart sports betting choices, all in one convenient and easy to look at place, guys. If you don't believe me, try it out for yourself. Link down below, 7-day free trial. Special thank you to Outlier for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, so like I said, 4 picks in today's MLB slate. We didn't have a video yesterday. Apologies for that. If you guys watch my videos regularly, you know my grandmother's battling cancer right now. My dad's currently in Greece by her side. So unfortunately, at the pizza shop, I am a little short-handed, and some days I'm not going to be able to get a video out. I did kind of warn you guys about that. I do apologize about yesterday. But we are 2-4 so far this week. We're not doing, it's not great. 2-4, I think we are too good for that. I know you have your bad days and your good days, but 2-4, we can definitely do better than that. I feel a 4-0 day coming up. I love these 4 picks in today's slate. So guys, comment sweep down below, and one lucky commenter, if we sweep our picks, will be selected for a free $15 Amazon gift card. That's right. All you have to do is comment sweep down below, and if we go 4-0, we'll go ahead and give one lucky commenter a free $15 Amazon gift card. All right, guys, our first of 4 picks in today's slate. We're starting off with the Reds-Cardinals game, 1:15 p.m. first pitch. We're going Sonny Gray here over 5.5 strikeouts, available on FanDuel for the best odds right now, -138 or -140. Also available on BetMGM, DraftKings, Caesars, and again, DraftKings. Guys, make sure to shop around for the best sportsbook odds available. Now, guys, considering we're getting this for -140 on FanDuel, the data is absolutely fantastic. You see 9 of his last 10 games, Sonny Gray has cashed the over. It's a 90% hit rate with an average of 7.1 strikeouts per game. The only time over his last 10 games he failed to record over 5.5 strikeouts is back on August 29th. He had 4 strikeouts, and what was a 4-1 win for the Cardinals? Even if you look at the last 20 games, guys, 17 of his last 20 games he's cashed the over. It's an 85% hit rate with an average of 7.1 strikeouts per game over his last 20 games. And again, so far in 2024, an 85% hit rate on the over, averaging 7.15 strikeouts per game. 22 out of 26 games this year, he's cashed the over. Since the month of June, only 3 times in the last 4 months, really, has he failed to cash the over. So really good numbers here for Sonny Gray. And if that didn't convince you, the head-to-head data is also really solid. You see each of the last 2 matchups versus the Reds, he cashed the over both this season. The last time they played on August 12th, just about a month ago, he had 9 strikeouts versus the Reds, and what was a 6-1 loss for the Cardinals. Looking down below, the insights provided by Outlier, Sonny Gray has exceeded 5.5 strikeouts in 12 of his last 13 games, an average of 7 strikeouts per game over his last 13 games. So really good numbers there. And honestly, the data down below doesn't get any worse. It gets even better. You see the Reds batting versus right-handed pitchers, a 25% strikeout rate overall. It's bottom 3 in the league, which is really good for us. It's still at 25% over the last 30 games, although their ranking is a little higher. It's still bottom half of the league, bottom 6 in Major League Baseball, their strikeout rate. Across the board, really good data here, although they are hitting the ball better. 254 batting average over the last 30 games. That's actually the 12th best mark in the league. Their OBP, 7th best. Offensively, they actually have become better as a team over the last 30 games compared to their overall season marks, but those strikeout numbers are still very, very high. And you see Sonny Gray, 29.9% strikeout rate this year. That's the 95th percentile. His strikeouts per 9, 10.8, 94th percentile. So across the board, really good numbers here. Again, for -140, this kind of feels like a steal. This feels, oops, did not mean to do that. This feels like a bet that should be like -175, -200. The data is absolutely fantastic across the board. There's really no holes in the data here. I really like the spot here for Sonny Gray. All right, guys, our second pick of today's slate. We're moving on to the Athletics-Astros game, 2:10 p.m. first pitch. We're going Lawrence Butler here, over 1/2 base. Available -150 on BetMGM, -150 on Bet365. Also available on Caesars, DraftKings, and Underdog for varying odds. What else can I say about Lawrence Butler? He's been a cashing machine for the last, honestly, 2-3 months. It's been crazy. You look at the last 10 game data. Each of the last 10 games, Lawrence Butler has cashed the over. It's a 100% hit rate with an average of 2.7 bases per game. Even if you want to go ahead and stretch that out to the last 20 games, still really solid numbers. 95% hit rate over the last 20 games. 19 of his last 20 games he's cashed the over with an average of 3.05 total bases per game. Literally just green across the board. The last time he failed to cash this over, you got to go all the way back to August 20th. He had no bases and what was a 1-0 loss for Oakland. And even if you go ahead and look at the season data, it's still really solid. 60% hit rate this year for Lawrence Butler, and most of those misses came early in the season. You look at over the last few months, basically from July on, he has been red hot. 63 out of 105 games this season, he's cashed the over for Oakland with an average of 1.76 total bases per game this year. And if that didn't convince you guys, the head-to-head data also very solid. 4 of his last 7 meetings with the Houston Astros, he has cashed the overs, a 57% hit rate with an average of 2 total bases per game. Now that he had one really big game back on July 23rd, 9 total bases, and what was an 8-2 win for Oakland. He's played them 5 times this year. He's cashed it in 4 out of 5 meetings with the Astros this season, including 4 straight. So really solid head-to-head data there for Lawrence Butler this year versus the Astros. Scrolling down below, the insights provided by Outlier, again, like we just saw, Lawrence Butler has exceeded half a base in 19 straight games, an average of 3.2 bases per game average over this 19-game hitting streak for Lawrence Butler. It's been really impressive to watch. And we've got a really solid matchup ahead of ourselves here tonight. Lawrence Butler's batting .269 overall this year, but versus left-handed pitchers like Framber Valdez, it increased to .297. So he's really hitting well off of lefties this year. 341 BABIP, 250 ISO. His number, the only number that does drop a little bit versus left-handed pitchers is the extra base hit percentage, but still 42.1% is still a very high number, although it dipped from his overall 46.9% average. And then look at the matchup versus Framber Valdez, 2.97 ERA versus left-handed batters, a massive increase in the numbers. You see his ERA goes to 4.88 versus left-handed batters like Lawrence Butler. The batting average allowed, 218 to 250. The slugging percentage, 314 to 370. The extra base hit percentage, 30.4%. Green across the board. That's what we like to see, guys. It's not like green where it goes up 1. These are all pretty decent increases. The extra base hit percentage too. 5% is pretty good. Pretty solid increases across the board. There's no head-to-head data for Lawrence Butler versus Framber Valdez, but overall, it looks like a really solid matchup. He's cashed it in 19 straight games. Again, really solid data here. Another great prop. All right, guys, moving on. Our third pick in today's slate, we're targeting the Red Sox-Yankees game, 7:15 p.m. first pitch. Our final 2 picks are actually going to come from this Red Sox-Yankees game, the best rivalry in sports, the oldest rivalry in sports. We got Anthony Rizzo here under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs for the Yanks. This prop's available on DraftKings and BetMGM for -140 and -145 odds. And again, guys, the data has been fantastic here. 8 straight games, Anthony Rizzo has cashed this under an 80% hit rate over his last 10 games with an average of 1.1 hits, runs, RBIs per game. Even when we go ahead and stretch the data out and look at the last 20 games, it's still really solid. 65% hit rate over his last 20 games, 13 of his last 20. He's cashed the under, with an average of 1.15 hits, runs, RBIs per game. In 2024 so far, a 55% hit rate on the under. 44 out of 80 games this year for the Yankees, he's cashed the under with an average of 1.63 hits, runs, RBIs per game. But looking at the trend there, guys, you see earlier in the season, I should say, we did see a lot more cashes there going into the spring months, right? April, May, you saw a lot more red there. But in the summer months, basically from the end of May all the way through now, you see not a lot of, now he hasn't played a ton. He's only played 80 games this year, but a lot of cashes on the under since June, end of May, June, a lot of cashes on the under. So that does fare very well for us. He's been kind of cashing unders a lot over the last 3-4 months. And looking at the head-to-head data, it is decent. 63% hit rate versus the Red Sox over the last 2 seasons. 5 of his last 8 meetings with Boston, he has cashed the under. He's averaging 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs per game versus the Red Sox here. This season they played 3 times. He's actually cashed the over in 2 out of 3 games, so that's not fantastic. But overall, the recent trend data versus Boston seems to be pretty decent. Look at the insights provided by Outlier. Anthony Rizzo has failed to exceed 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 8 straight games. Like we talked about, an average of just 0.4 hits, runs, RBIs per game over those last 8 games. Look at the key matchup stats down below. Anthony Rizzo versus Cooper Criswell. 2 plate appearances since 2018. Very small sample size. He has struck out once. No hits, nothing. But again, too small of a sample size to really get anything from that. Anthony Rizzo is batting .220 this year, and I know it shows red, but the number is the same versus right-handed pitchers as it is overall. .220 is a very low batting average, so that is a pretty good number for us. Look at Cooper Criswell, who's having an S season for the Boston Red Sox. 4.11 ERA, 274 batting average overall allowed. You do see a nice dip there versus left-handed batters. His ERA goes from 4.11 to 3.28. His batting average allowed from 274 to 260. His home runs per 9 from 0.9 to 0.4. His OBA 327 to 305. Not significant drops where it's like, oh, now the data is fantastic. It's still not great numbers, right? The 260 batting average allowed is not a great number, but overall the data seems to be pretty solid here. Again, Rizzo has a 63% hit rate versus the Red Sox on this under over the last 8 meetings. The data seems to be really solid across the board. Again, the key matchup stats down below, the head-to-head matchup against Cooper Criswell. Not the best data, but it's not bad either. I think it's a pretty solid spot here for this prop. All right, guys, our fourth and final prop from today's slate. We're still, like I said, sticking with that Red Sox-Yankees game. We're going Aaron Judge here, over 1.5 bases. This is plus money on DraftKings. Actually, it's plus money on 3 different sports books. Also available on Caesars, FanDuel, and Underdog for varying odds. Now, so far in today's video, guys, I've given you 3 props with fantastic data. This is the first of those 4 picks that the data is not fantastic, but I still really like the spot for Aaron Judge here. Look at the recent data. It's not very good. The Paw Patrol curse is in full effect here for Aaron Judge. It's really crazy that since his appearance on Paw Patrol, he has struggled a little bit here. Just 3 of his last 10 games, he has cashed the over, and averages 0.9 total bases per game. Even over the last 20 games, 40% hit rate, 8 of 20 with an average of 1.9 total bases per game. Look at the season view, it's a 51% hit rate overall this year, 74 out of 144 games this year's cashed the over, with an average of 2.44 total bases per game. Remember that stretch he had through the end of July, throughout August? I mean, August was a great month for him. You know, he was great in August, was a cashing machine. And then he happened to go on Paw Patrol, and everything went downhill from there. In reality, guys, it's just what happens. I mean, you go red hot, you go cold, hot and cold. It's kind of the trend of baseball. It's really hard to stay hot for 162 games a season. But it's just funny that it's in line with him being on a kid's TV show. Now, all of a sudden, he can't hit home runs. It is kind of funny. Besides the overall season data being a 51% hit rate, the other good data point here is the head-to-head data for Aaron Judge, a 50% hit rate versus the Red Sox. 8 of his last 16 meetings with Boston, he has cashed the over, an average of 2.13 total bases per game versus the Red Sox over the last 16 meetings. So, Tasso, why do you like this prop if the data is not fantastic? And we go down below the key matchup stats. I can go ahead and show you why. Now, the insights provided by Outlier is obviously negative here. Aaron Judge has failed to exceed 1.5 bases in 5 of his last 6 games, an average of 0.7 total bases per game average. Again, that's not very good. We know that. Like the last prop, not a lot of head-to-head data for Aaron Judge versus Cooper Criswell, just 2 plate appearances in 2018. He hasn't got a hit off him, but it's such a small sample size, you can't really take much away from that. But if you look down below, guys, a lot of green here in this matchup. Starting off with Aaron Judge, who's batting .320 overall this year. His number does increase versus right-handed pitchers to .323. Not a massive increase, but an increase nonetheless, and it is in the green zone there. .323 batting average overall. His BABIP, again, another slight increase to .369 overall. Not fantastic in terms of an increase, but still good numbers. Fantastic numbers, not a fantastically large increase, but still pretty solid there. And his extra base hit percentage, although it is a dip from his overall high 51.8% hit rate, 51.8% extra base hit percentage, excuse me, guys. We do have a decrease to 49.6% extra base hit percentage versus right-handed pitchers. But again, guys, 49.6 is a massive percent for the extra base hit percentage. So although it is a dip from his overall number, it's still really solid. But really, it's all about Cooper Criswell here, and this is a really bad matchup for him. You see Criswell versus right-handed batters, his numbers take a massive increase. So we saw in the last prop, right, with Anthony Rizzo, his numbers decrease when facing off with left-handed batters. Now you see the opposite side of it. Versus right-handed batters, a massive increase here. 4.11 ERA to 4.96 ERA, 274 batting average allowed to 288 batting average allowed, 426 slugging to 480 slugging, and 34.4 extra base hit percentage to 39.2. Guys, this pick is all about the matchup here for me. Aaron Judge versus Cooper Criswell. He should be able to eat off of this matchup. I kind of like him to hit a home run. I'm not going to go ahead and bet that, but just to go ahead and show you guys some numbers there on the home run prop. Just to give you guys an idea, I think the total bases prop for plus money is the safer play at over 1.5. Again, you could even go 2.5 if you're really feeling frisky. Yeah, he hasn't hit a home run in each of the last 10 games. Actually, you look at the 20-game data there. That was when he was red hot. He has gone red cold here. Ice cold. I don't know what red cold means. Ice cold. But you look at the home runs per 9 versus right-handed batters, it upgrades to 1.4 home runs per 9 innings for Cooper Criswell. So really good numbers there. And again, across the board there, you see his home runs per fastball percentage, 15.6, his OBA, his ERA, his FIP. Across the board, all those numbers increase. And his hard-hitting percentage, Aaron Judge versus right-handed pitchers, at 46.2%. That line is at plus 250. I'm not adding it on the official record. I'm going with the safer bet here of over 1.5, which is at plus 100. I just really think Aaron Judge is due. I think he's going to break out of it versus the Red Sox at home with this matchup. I think Aaron Judge absolutely rakes here. I think he definitely cashes over. If you're feeling frisky, you can obviously sprinkle a little something on that home run prop that he finally breaks the Paw Patrol curse. But again, I'm just going to go with the safe bet here, which is still plus money of over 1.5 total bases. All right, guys, those are all 4 picks in today's slate. Quick little recap. Sonny Gray over 5.5 strikeouts. Aaron Judge over 1.5 bases. Anthony Rizzo under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. And Lawrence Butler over half a base. Guys, that'll do it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Again, comment sweep down below. And if we sweep, if we go 4-0, which I really do feel good about, if we go 4-0 on today's picks, one lucky commenter will be selected to win a free $15 Amazon gift card. Guys, I will be back tomorrow. That's a guarantee. Not a maybe. It's a guarantee. I will be back tomorrow with another MLB Player Prop video with our Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay tomorrow. But until then, I hope you're all winners, guys. Have a fantastic Thursday. We'll see you all back here tomorrow.